very good morning to you all. This is Daddy Chris from the African Renaissance Television here in London. Today is the 23rd of April. Just time flies, man. How do we stop this time from running? I'm getting old. I'm angry. This world can't wait to get rid of us. Take it easy now, time. Time is just flying. Anyway, it's the 23rd of August of April. Yeah, I don't increase that to August. That one will make it faster. April 2025. And today, on this very particular week, down to Sunday, we're going to look at how productive, how we can pull our clothes. Because I'm preaching the gospel right now. And my gospel is if we all, including the government, participate in production, we're going to grow, and we're going to grow faster, and Nigeria will get to where we want. I made it very simple. There are certain things, Nigerians only want to say, government cannot take part in business. Government cannot take part in business. So let me put it in two contexts. There are places where, yes, government cannot take part in business, but you know where those places work? In countries where there is access to finance. Let me repeat. Where there is access to finance, you can say government don't even need to bother themselves because the private sector can manage the business better. And normally the question I ask is, to the advantage of who? When private people, let me explain it. When private people go into business, it's purely for the purpose of making profit. Purely. I open up a TV station, I want to make money. But when government open NTA, it's to disseminate information. The primary aim is not to make money. So, which two is going to serve us better? Of course, NTA will serve the interests of Nigeria more than any other TV station in Nigeria. Let's be clear, because they are designed, they are meant to do so. But if I do it, I'm going to do it for myself. That's on one side. Number two is, yes, the argument that government cannot do things that they cannot run business effectively. I wonder, are they not the same human beings? If the governors or if the president takes NTA seriously, that NTA must be better than channels, I'm sure NTA will be far, far better than channels. Another area is who have more access to finance. Government can fund things better. Now, this is one big area, access to finance. Do Nigerians have access to finance? Only 10% of Nigerians have the cash. The rest are struggling to feed. I'm not even talking to survive. They're struggling to feed. And in a situation like that, what can you do? If you say those are the people to run business, you're waiting for a poor Nigerian to run the Nigerian Airways or to run Nigerian shipping line. How many ship can a Nigerian buy? But the Nigerian state can actually Nigerian government can do anything they want. And I repeat, Nigerian government can do any business they want to do, and they will do it well. One, they have assets, they can negotiate better. They are a collateral. Nigeria is a collateral to take any loan, anything. And if we really want this country to grow, I am of the opinion that that's all we should do. And to bring that to the level we understand, I'm saying that the president, the federal government, should be participating in all business of life, and that is how every government in the world is structured to work. That's why in Nigeria today we have the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education. All these ministries are meant not just to sit and look people, and not just to spend all your money, but to actually generate income for the state. So when you appoint a minister, his number one job is to make money for Nigeria. Tinubu number one job is to make money for Nigeria. Why he try to solve some of our major problems? I can understand. The government all over the world today, they focus on education and health. They try to make it free, so that because it is our right, because education is the future. If you train kids, then you're going to have a good workforce tomorrow. And if we are not healthy, nobody. So those two things are always prioritized by every government. And I'm going to see whether that is the case in Nigeria. Should private people do that too? Because as it is in Nigeria now, the only school, if you want to go to a good school in Nigeria, you go to the private school. If you want to go to a good hospital in Nigeria, you go to the private hospital. Even the government that is trying to do something there, they couldn't do it. So is it because they don't have money? What can be responsible for us not having those facilities? Now let's go to the other sector, Ministry of Agri. The government of Nigeria does not make money from agri. Now, the state government does not make money from agri. The private individual, is it my grandmother who has a hoe who is going to collapse with to the farm? Is that the person going to feed Nigeria? You joking, man? Or you think people like all these governors, like this fine boy I see here now? Look at him. I can see one fine guy here. Let me put this one as a case study this morning because he caught my attention. This one is going to go into farming. He has enough money. He's too comfortable. Listen, people, we need to wake up. And my concern is, if those of you that speak the grammar, that government cannot do business, it's not business of government to do business. Who's going to do the business of the government? And to crown it all, Nigerian government don't even know how to collect tax. They don't understand it. It's not in your DNA. You don't need the meaning of tax. That's why in the UK government don't play with tax. And I'm bringing somebody here tomorrow. We're going to talk about one thing: inheritance tax in the United Kingdom. When you die in the UK, the government of UK tax what you have as what your children are going to inherit. They take 40%, they give 60% to your children. It is in the law. Any attempt not to do that, they get into jail. There's a place for them called jail. So the government don't play the tax. The Nigerian government even know where tax is. So the only thing that is making Nigeria to survive today is to getting money from oil. Mbaka was able to align with us yesterday. Educators said that even those areas where we say internally generated revenue, they don't even come to the state. It was only good luck that tried to put that every payment should go to the federal government post. And I think many of them, they don't they shit money because all the money they go to federal government post. Because they've been abusing the system. Even as it is, Nigeria is not making money. Nigerians will need to wake up and ask this difficult question today, which is what we're all going to talk about today. How can we all start to make money for the country? Both the private and the government. The government have more money, they should do it more. That's my opinion. Right here with me today, of course, Mary is here. Hurricane. Mary, good morning, Mary. How are you?
Fine, good morning, Daddy Chris.
This is your color of dress, That the correct African one with this. So. All right. Anyway, today, like I said, let me go back here quickly. Chief Ubaka, these are Asaba people. Anytime you go to Asaba, that is when you have the miserable network. Anytime we go to Asaba, there must be misery. Hey, Asaba, when they talk, you know what? Don't know what that means. Only Urhobo understand. He said, I said it because of the ancestors. They are there. They watch us. Anytime you come to Asaba, there must be network problem. Anytime.
No. I think as Asaba is clear now, and we are hearing
with
you
what
right.
We see now, you are not clear, sir. Asaba is still not clear.
No.
Let me. On the international stage,
we are clear. We are clear. We are
okay.
That we have an area of disagreement with London. Asaba sees Abuja as clement, as peaceful, loving, warm, and wonderful. But London sees Abuja as hurricane. And I can't understand why that sharp difference in perspective. About
listen, in terms of if it's Hurricane Mary,
there is nothing hurricane about that. She has a lovely ambience. She has a lovely ambience and
I'm not marketing this
so what is hurricane about her?
Let me tell you, there's something we call the hurricane. Thank God I'm not the one that said it. When the hurricane are descending, they come with some names. Hurricane Katrina. The last one that came was Katrina. Katrina took the whole. It took the whole of that area. So when women are angry, they become hurricane. When Mary is really very smiling,
hurricane. Okay.
There's hurricane somewhere. When you don't allow the hurricane to unleash, we see. So, but that's why I say hurricane.
Okay, that is to say that behind every woman is a hurricane spirit underlining.
Of course. And if you want them to give it to you, you will get it in abundance. There's a say you give a woman small thing, give you big. Give woman small thing, you go get pikin. They know they have the power to multiply things. The hurricane is something that will grow. It will from there begin to expand.
We know.
Expand. Before you know it, it will not be joke. It's store. And it will be massive. That's hurricane. Anyway, so
Daddy Chris have explained now. Thank
Uh-huh.
you. I will be very good.
Listen, well, on this morning show, this is what we're going to try and do. All right. Let us really take something very seriously today. The state of our economy can be resolved if we all start to work. Nigeria always say we are not productive. We are not productive. Who is not productive? Is it the ordinary Nigerians who is working hard? I think Nigerians are the most productive people. Ordinary Nigerians, when they go into their own personal business. But when it comes to the public sector, there's something wrong. Even the attitude for public sector is different. That's why today in Nigeria, and maybe I'm wrong, and somebody needs to educate me here. If you go to Nigeria, those that run private schools, the private schools they're doing well. The private churches are doing well. I'm sure if Nigerian government have a church, nobody will run that church. That church will fail. Just the way every other business is failing. But when private people do it, they do it well. But are you telling me that private people are going to run the affairs of Nigeria? Do they have the capacity to do so? One, do they have the access to finance to do so? Two, do they have the will to do so? Do they have the mental capability? You have to have the brain. You want to run a hospital, a government or a private hospital. How much staff can you afford? Look at the people that are teaching in our private schools. And look at the facilities in private school, Mary. Sometimes people tell us that the private schools are well equipped. How many private schools have they don't have what we have in Uniben? Not a guy. What do you have in your covenant that is not in
Talk about,
a
talk about facilities. We cannot compare. Even when we talk about hospitals, government hospitals, it's not like they don't have the facilities. It's just that I feel like that mentality of it's a no man's business. It's a general something. What is killing them? But when it comes to private, you want to take it like it's your thing because you're accountable. You see, there are good private hospitals, right? That can actually afford good doctors, good nurses. Why there are still good private hospitals that cannot pay nurses and they try to just get anyone they see. But you can't see such in government hospitals. In government hospitals, they make sure they get the best. Even though we know that, I feel like some level of care is not being shown on the patient. Why? Because that's just how they do their thing. It's just a kind of because it's too public. So it's not everybody that feels safe to want to go there, to want to be there. Because you go there for something before you are even being attended to the problem. You don't get that attention, that care you really need from them. But when we talk about good doctors, to be sincere, government hospitals, they have that good doctors because they can pay them, they can
yes.
afford them, they have good facilities, they can afford them, they can pay them. Let me tell you, a lot of private hospitals, the nurses they have, they are nothing to write home about. Because a doctor that will only employ nurses that he can pay is a one man's business.
Yes.
My team that sometimes when you go to private hospital, it's only the doctor that
That's why you have all the auxiliary nurses in the world. Only a private
yes,
hospital that any young girl is a nurse. That's where they
exactly.
keep people every day.
They can't come to learn and feel like they are working. Most of them is even only the doctor that understand what he's doing there. Most of these nurses, but you won't blame him. It's the ones he can pay. But these are people lives that you are putting at risk. But you see that attention, you understand? They attend to you with their mind. They want to make sure they do the needful. The doctor administer drugs and make sure it's being given to the
Yeah,
patient.
Mary, what that
Government,
attention you are talking about? The attention you are talking about is a product of supervision. It's a
Thank
product
you.
of
but you can't
supervision,
get it in the government
and
hospital.
it does appear as if the private sector is more tended towards supervision, and at the end of the day, appears to be more productive than the public sector. The public sector may have all the facilities in this world, but
Yeah,
any business that is not well supervised tends to low productivity, if not
that's
failure. You understand? And that is why it will appear as if some of our private sector may not have the best of hands, and yet they tend to be doing better than the public sector that have all the hands, but
All the resources.
or sometimes no supervision. You understand? So that is why some persons have this feeling that yes, it cannot be outrightly right to say government has no business in business. No. But the primary responsibility of government is let there be an environment, the right environment, so that private initiative can thrive and also public initiative can thrive. But there is a level of business that requires the kind of resources which only the public sector can make available. And you find out that, okay, look, talk about a teaching hospital now. Yes, we have Abroad, that should be Alpha Babalola University in Nigeria, that also has a teaching hospital. But the question is, like, how many professors in the different specialties are there? Can that be compared to what you have in University of Benin Teaching Hospital that is called UBTH? And the same thing in Ibadan, the same thing in Nsukka, and and some of these other places. But the best coming together, the best conglomerate, as it were, but with the least supervision, will lead to low productivity. But by the time you have some private initiatives that at the end of the day are doing quick turnover and appear to be impacting more, is because there is that element of supervision. We have said it even in this program, in this platform, a few times, that there are hands that are not needed in the public sector. There are ministries that are just duplication of effort that they ought to have been merged all this while. But people believe that if you send the people away, then where are you sending them to? Well, they could have gone to the private sectors if we have the right environment. So government should be part of business, but first and foremost, government should ensure the right environment that is investor friendly, that will make private initiative to thrive. Because at the end of the day, the public sector, how many people are they engaging? All the talk about wage negotiation and minimum wage for the public sector, how many people are in the public sector? But when we have an environment where private initiatives can thrive, then you see that people are able to translate their God-given initiative to what can become a business that can thrive and engage other people. The more we do that, the likes in Asia, you find out that almost in every household, you see people who are producing one thing or the other. The match box we use here, very, very tiny thing. Even in some cases, even our toothpicks are coming, spoons are coming, all from Asia. The plates are coming, all from China. And the places where they are doing these are small and medium scale enterprises that are thriving because the government has been able to provide enabling environment. So the enabling environment need to be there. But when we have an enabling environment that stifles creativity, stifles productivity here, then cost of production is high. Then there is the tendency for the only thriving enterprise to become politics. Then it becomes over attractive, and people come in there and kill and destroy in order to get in there, because that appears to be the only thriving enterprise.
Only thriving business.
But we should be able to create an environment where the other enterprises can thrive.
Yes. So in other words, Mbaka, I agree with you, and perhaps that's where we're going. Government should create, that language they call enabling environment. It's an insult,
so that I can hear him.
Yes. When you talk about enabling environment, they're insulting us. Big insult. You know what it is? Let us break it down. How can an environment be enabling? We're not talking of security. We're not talking of roads. The most important enabling environment for a business to survive is access to finance. Let me repeat that. Access to finance. Nigerian government telling you how many
of them. Of course, in our climb, power generation of power.
If you have money, you can get power.
Nigeria, power.
No, the most important one is access to finance, because once you have money, you can even get power.
Yes.
You might be able to run your own power.
That's true.
Money is power. Now, the most important thing is access to finance. Now, this country, Nigeria, is the only place. I'm going to try and take it a little bit because something is happening. Nigeria is the only place where I don't know how to put it. Nigeria is still the only place where access to finance is like a story. There's still no access to finance in Nigeria. I'm coming, people. I should have. My phone was going to go. My laptop was going to go off. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, it's very important. Let me come back. Access to finance is the key. That is the engine that run a country, that run any economy. All right. Access to finance. Only in Nigeria, if you want to go to the bank to take a loan for business, the percentage is close to 30%. In some cases, they say 33%.
Very annoying.
That is, you are telling the person is suicidal. You're telling the person, go and commit suicide. You understand? So, and the question I asked Mary, Nigerian government telling you they want to give access to finance. How many banks does the Nigerian government have? Because if that becomes your priority, it's not a one-off.
People have been lamenting.
The problem they have.
Only,
they think
only
access to finance is one-off. So when I give them 20 million, like I'm going to distribute 20 million to some small people, let them go and do business. You're stupid. Nobody even wants you to give them money for free. We don't want free money. But give loan at an accessible rate so that the government can be making money when we pay back and the people can make money. But they give us at a rate. The private sector does not have that money. All the politicians, when they leave office, you know what they do? They go and open a bank. When they were in office, they refused to open bank for their own state. Mary, do you have Delta State Bank? No. Do you have Edo State Bank? No. Do you have Benue State Bank? They don't. Not one state in Nigeria have a bank.
How can they have it as states? They can't have it as states.
They want to have it as individual.
Private, yes. They want to be making their money.
You see the demonic leaders we have. If not, Mary, if they can come up, if Nigeria now we have this is a Nigerian bank, that's where we're all going to put our money.
People believe that
Nigerian bank will give us loan.
If I'm doing something for a state and I happen to be the governor, I will definitely leave someday. So if I leave, another person will have control of it. But if I make it private, I'm going to be the one to have the control of it over time, right? For quite a long period of time. But if it has to be state owned, it's nobody's own. That is one thing you need to know, why they don't really do things and say state bank, state this one, state that one. No. How many times do you see something like that? And that is why when we would have been able to generate income, but they're not doing it. And that is
in those days, Mary, when I was growing up in Bende State, we have Bende owned New Nigerian Bank. The Bende State there, we own New Nigerian Bank. Today, as I'm talking to you, none of these state governors, not one. How much does it take to open a bank? In this modern world, OPE and this modern one are now making a lot of money for their own people. How many is making money for your state? Now, how much can you access a loan in Nigeria? You say enabling environment. You guys speak a lot of big grammar. They don't understand the meaning of enabling environment. Enabling environment is not the environment. It's not even electricity. If you have money, if you can access loan today, you can bring in solar. Your business will strive. What you need is access to finance so that you can do this business and be able to pay back. And guess what? If government actually go into that, if the Nigerian government own a bank that gives this loan out that people can pay back, you know what you do? You will lose some, but Nigeria will be making so much money from that scheme. Delta State will be making so much money from the same scheme.
You're talking about why not our government go into solar, right? Because we're talking about small scale business that were suffering as regards
Yes.
no light, and they have to be.
I don't want to go there. I don't think even light is a problem.
The recent news about 10 billion naira, right? That was allocated to the villa for solar, mini solar grid at the presidential villa. 10
Really?
billion naira. Imagine. What
So,
kind of
Baba go put that before I come out. Don't even go do it.
So that's what I'm saying. We're not even saying 800 million, 10 billion naira. I'm not trying to.
But only solar. No, no,
So like,
we leave this with Asaba. I need to keep quiet. You see, I want people to go there because
yes,
I need to address this.
the new punch
Mary,
carried this. I don't
electricity
know.
is not a challenge. Mary, electricity is not a challenge in Nigeria. It's not a challenge because there's electricity. You just need to have money to
And
access
it
it.
is the state house that has allocated this 10 billion naira for installation of mini solar grid for presidential villa. When the people are suffering that there is no light, people are complaining that it's not even worth it paying for this electricity bill because you are not seeing the electricity. And one person wants to get it for himself. No, no. I don't know. We have a problem in this country. Let's just, because I don't want whoever we talk about, we leave the problem and start talking about that. There's a problem here. They are not talking about how people can. I was telling you that okay, you're talking about solar. I said, how many people can access it? Many people, you said no, they can access it if the government can make it, you understand, easy for the people to access. But look at 10
Mary,
billion for presidential
Mary,
villa.
Mary,
What kind of
today,
solar energy is that? What kind
today,
of
Mary, 90 now as we speak now,
yeah?
Mary. I know I'm going to bring Asaba because Engineer Mashak is in the house. As we speak today, most intelligent Nigerians, they no more believe in the audition. They go and install their own solar panel. It is starting. In another 2 years, Nigeria will be solarized. We're going to have so much solar system in Nigeria that you won't believe. You know why? Because it's a new trend, and Nigeria always struggle to get their things moving. The truth is, the money is still with some people, and when they die, the money will come back. You know what I want to say today? I'm worried about two things that the government is not doing. If the government want to say they want to create an enabling environment, you see, there's no enabling environment because if you cannot access loan to do what you want to do, then what is access? What do you mean by enabling environment? Enabling environment is that when you have an idea, you can get it to work. And the only thing that will get your idea to work is when you have the resources, the money. Don't tell me about electricity. If I have money, I'll put solar panel in the whole of Asaba, my place in Asaba. It will run. Money, speak. But do I have the access to the finance? Go to Nigerian bank. They will take that house from me. And the government is quiet. As government, I ask a question. Which state in Nigeria? Don't start again. No. Fella, you don't come again. Which state in Nigeria have a bank? How many ex-governors have a bank in Nigeria? Only God know them. We don't know them, but God know you people. How many of you have a bank? Now that bank, only Peter Obi was able to do it too. Peter was able to do, say, this state need to do business. You understand? Only Peter. Maybe that's why the man is talking. How many of them? And they attack Peter, say he only did something for alcohol. How many of you now, you governors, have one thing that is doing business in your state? Show me one. Even the asset, the loan, the tax they say you should collect, you collect it for some people. Oh no. No, we don't have leaders. We don't have governors. Let's put it this way. We don't have governors. More than no vessel, we don't have them. They don't exist. It's something we just see them. They're only big agbada. You see what this man just said this morning. This one, see the kind of governors we have. He said people should not wear what in his community. We'll put this boy within 5 years. Fine boy like him.
No dreadlock.
And every dreadlock must go to jail in Niger State.
And no keke okada riding from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the state.
And where is that coming from? Is that from Islam? Is it Islam that tell him that you cannot have dreadlock?
Security in the state. In fact, he said personally he will follow them to investigate those ones that resides in Mina. If he sees anyone with dreadlock in Mina, he'll bab it up. And
anyone when you get too much BS like this, we will put her for prison too. And if your BS is too much, you go to prison in my state. I will make that law for Delta. If you come to Delta State and we see you with this kind of BS, if it's too long, we'll put you in prison. You are a terrorist. Some people are stupid. You don't know what's wrong with you.
maybe that is not thinking of how to fight security state. He said lives have been lost in Niger State and he's trying to say he can fight insecurity. Well,
And
he's not fighting it in the right way. He's not fighting it in the right way at all.
I forget I said this in my head, be like dreadlock. Oh. Because they go mistake her for dreadlock. Women now they dreadlock. Oh. You know, say they can't hear one and they buy these days. When I go for that, I have good for myself.
Say man now. He say any man. I don't think
It's not a good woman. You know, say now Is it not this guy stayed there when somebody, House of Assembly member married 21? He married to people. Is it not the same? Is it not the same state, Niger State, where the House of Assembly take a lot of kids and marry their wives?
No, that mind him is complaining of insecurity. But when youth came out to protest, he said Niger State will not protest because the president gave them money to farm. Very funny
The
man.
the pronouncement the pronouncement by the governor of Niger State is a reflection of the quality of leaders we have in this generation. Um, some of us were already maybe in the secondary school during Second Republic, and we had the likes of Professor Ambrose Ali of
Ambrose Ali,
UPN
yeah,
as
yes.
as governor.
He was my governor. They
And
never bomb me that time.
we
They never even know say they go bomb
we
me.
knew where
Must
we
explain.
knew where he was coming
Ah,
from. We knew where he was coming from,
yeah.
and of course the Adekule Ajasin and even the Abubakarinis and some
Even
of these
Solomon
governors,
now, they do the
the
governors.
Balarabe Musa,
Yes.
that they even had to impeach and all that. There was a Samu Bakwe. He was called a whipping governor of Imo State,
Yes.
and the fine boy Mobodo, Jim
Mobodo.
Mobodo, of
Yes.
Anambra State. These were
Anambra.
people who we had a place where they were coming from, and there was a particular level of reasoning beyond which they cannot descend. But today we have governors that sometimes, if you bother to trace their past, then it becomes so discouraging, demoralizing, and abysmal.
It is.
So
It is.
we have
It is.
we have governors who are more like you know what do you call it now? People who are standing in the gap for some other persons because
Exactly.
some group just wanted them there. It's
They
not
make-
because they
they
have
make
been
them-
refined. They have not been refined through the ranks, and so you find out that some of them cannot even thoroughly appraise a memo. Some of them cannot articulate a position. Some of them cannot address an audience.
True.
Yet they are governors. Some of them do not have the understanding of even the constitutional provision that we are talking about. Yet they are governors. I don't know whether it's the society that needs to be blamed now for the faulty leadership emergence procedure. But we have gotten it wrong in that situation, because what it appears now is that this governor doesn't appear to know the priorities of his state. He doesn't appear to know that somebody who has chosen to have dreadlock, that is not the problem of the state. Assuming the person is an international footballer and that
Yes.
is part of, his profile
He's a
or
legend.
branding.
He's a legend.
Yes, I talked to some scouts who happen to be from outside this country in one of the programs, and he said, "Look, that to some whites, every black man is basically the same. Mikel
Yes.
Obi and JT Okocha, that they are all basically one. So in the hotel lobby, you cannot differentiate one black man from the other, except for the kind of So what these guys have done has been to now they brand themselves. So we used to have a particular defender who made
Taribo West.
in such a way.
Taribo West. Taribo.
Yeah, Taribo West. Green, white, green. You could not miss that. You just could not miss that. So for goodness sake, if you now see him, that makes him a criminal or something. Or assuming he's an entertainer or a Nollywood person, that is part of his brand, and it is part of what.
Are we not talking about the police now? Police that gotten a job.
Our governors should stop. Our leaders should stop pursuing shadows.
They are giving the job. Now they will now overdo it.
That they have done.
They have given police a good job, because this kind of job they like. Anybody they see now, anybody they see now, they have started working. And this is the period where they will make money. You know, they say they'll buy the hair and find the person. So where's the money going to? When police collect the money, what are they accounting it to? It's just like a good thing for them. You know,
Okay.
we are complaining why some people are rejoicing. Like it's a good job that they gave to them right now. So they have gone
Then
into work.
I still maintain that your hairstyle is part of your dress code, and you are
That's
it's part of your expression, and it's part of your freedom of speech, your freedom of expression, and your freedom of association. They are all enshrined in the Constitution. We should be serious with issues of governance and come up with policies and not pursue the shadow. That's my take on that.
Thank you.
Engineer Mishak, you're welcome.
Interestingly, thank you very much. I greet you, Sir Chris, Ice London today.
Well,
And of
lawyer,
course, Mary, I can see you have been so vibrant today. Yes, today Mary has been very provoked with what is happening. And you've
is
been
it the
talking
I say Hurricane
from east,
Mary?
west, north, south.
Is she
Yes,
hurricane?
I'm impressed. I didn't know you can be this vocal. But let's go to the discussion for today. Interestingly,
Just say one bad thing about women, then you will hear from Mary.
in
Don't worry.
today's
Hurricane will come out.
yeah,
If you say something
I
wrong
want to
about
ask a
women,
salient
the hurricane
question,
will
a
come
very
out.
important question.
Yes.
Exactly, yes. The Hurricane Mary will come out. I mean, we've seen hurricanes in the studio here, and I understand how it looks like with Mary in Abuja. But however, moving forward, I want to ask a salient question, a fundamental question about what this governor said. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, I think I remember him from government secondary school in Mina. I expected that, it should have outgrown, this kind of ideology. Now, how many of these bandits, kidnappers, and whatever have you seen with dreadlocks?
Dreadlock.
Or I have not, none. 90% of the ones they catch they look like him, the governor. They are beaded. So if he was telling us that anybody with beads should be arrested,
That's what I said.
should be shaved, and the person fined.
Exactly.
But you are not coming. That's to show you their level of ethnic bigotry, because it's majority of people that plait their hair, that have dreadlocks, are mostly of southern extraction. And
True.
now, Southerners are not the people inflicting harm on your societies in Mina, on your towns in Niger State. The people, you see them, they are visible to insecurity agencies, they are visible to the executive. They know these people, and not one has been caught with dread. Then you wake up after maybe a bowl of brukutu, you now start
Exactly.
saying that anybody.
After a blow of Brukutu, I say,
and
it is.
so
Yes, it is laughable. I mean, the idea of governance it should be complementary. When you are saying this, like you are targeting a setting, it is just saying all the Southerners that have you should redirect the phrase, because we are trying to heal the land, but most of our leaders of present day are not making the healing process interesting. I want to go back to what Dr. Chris referenced to. He made reference to then Bender State NMD. That is just one of the things, one of the many indigenous state-owned companies that we had then. Bender Line was one of the most traveled transport. I mean, it was a pride.
Bendel Insurance. Bendel Insurance.
Bendel Insurance. We have Bendel Insurance. One of the biggest. Every civil servant in the secretariat in Benin then must be insured. If any form of insurance you are taking must go to Bendel Insurance. I mean, now we had Bendel Line. If you miss your flight, you are sure. If you are going to take Bendel Line station wagon, you are sure, you are guaranteed safe travel, safe landing, and all that was lost. Where is the Delta Steel Company that translated after we created Delta State? Delta Steel Company was at par with Shell NNPC, Chevron, Elf, you name it. When Warri was actually the epicenter, the oil city, the overrated oil city. Where are all that? Now you come for that. Where is Eternit? There was a time that, I mean, when we were coming from Benin, you are at that flyover after Ogarad, before you get to the second flyover, when you look from the car, you see logs of wood. Sapele was known internationally as the city of timber and plywood.
Yeah.
And where is all that today?
Where is the AT&P? We call them the AT&P. AT&P.
Yes, AT&P. Where is it? It's gone. Where is Eternit? When you want to roof a house, it must be Eternit. Where is Eternit today? It was in Sapele. Eternit came, and it's gone. So many of them. As Summit Furniture in Asabaye was one of the biggest furniture then. And now Summit Furniture was so wonderful. Where is Summit today? So we're looking at a trajectory of leadership decay that has been so
That is the big one. The leadership decay.
Yes, I'm telling you. Because that's leadership decay. Our relevance, especially when we lost the idea of what true leadership really reflects. True leadership entails entrepreneurship. Those days, when my senior colleague here, Mr. Baka, was referencing when he was making mention to some governors, mentioned Abubakar Rini, you mentioned Samu Bakwe, the crying governor, Jim Nwobodo, you had so many of them, Mefodokilo in River State, and Bruce Ali in Bender State. There was something ideologically connecting all these governors. Let me tell you what.
That's true.
Now, these are governors that from the MPN, you had the UPN, you had the PRP, you had the Great Nigerian People's Party,
GNP.
and you have the MPP, the five political parties. But first, whether they lost, I didn't see political prostitution in the Second Republic. Whether they lost the ideologies, I didn't see any witch hunting on the pages of newspapers, on the pages of Daily Times, even with ownership of Concord by Abiola, the UPN or the Tribune. The UPN didn't go and start castigating personalities. They talked about issues were what they deliberated upon. When they go for Federal Executive Council, they do not look for the majority party members. No, everybody sits down and look at the problem of Nigeria.
Nigeria was the focus.
Nigeria was the focus. Yeah. It was not about who is in UPN, who is in MPP. And funny enough, at those times and at that time, the political parties had a manifesto. They didn't have a more agenda. They didn't have a renewed hope. They didn't have
exactly. You know their manifestos.
Operation Point and Kill. The police security agency that have Operation Point and Kill. Operation Put Eye for Your Finger. That was not the way to tackle insecurity. We were faced with a leadership crisis. With a leadership crisis that then there was no leadership crisis. They were faced with a leadership situation that was attractive to the electorate. They made, except for a few situations, and that was created by the ruling party, the MPN then in Ondo State, where we had Omoborio, yes, winning, and there was an escalation of violence. That was the only. But then, besides all that, you knew the strength of each political party. They had regional strength. GMPP, like the likes of Gongola, I mean, they were, and all that. And of course, MPP was mostly in the southeast. Well, Azikiwe was their presidential candidate. And PRP had Tunji Braithwaite, the suave British-style politician.
Exactly.
I mean, at that time, people were not scared to come to politics. So politics was ideologically based. And look at the structure. Look at what that generation brought. Bruce Ali University for Bender State then, and so many other. Look at the roads. Look at the infrastructure. They didn't do it like there was a vendetta, and there was a continuum in leadership. It is not like somebody got all the things. Let me tell you something. There is a shoe factory in Iseluku. I was privileged to follow some reporters. We just went, Misha, come make a stroll to Iseluku. What did we go? We got to that shoe factory. and my heart wept. The shoe factory in Iseluku is a leather factory rather. Should be the biggest in West Africa. They had a restaurant. They had so many sublets of businesses that could be subletted. Then when you see the machines that are in that factory, an average above-based shoe merchant would weep for the wastages there. But do you know what happened? Because of political patronage or lack of political patronage, that thing died. It is still there. You could see the feces of rodents, and that would be grass cutters that look like elephants that have been staying there. The leather work. I just sat down and I started asking questions. It was it's under when the late Schmidt Bello was, yes, it was during the Dwanga regime. Now, a certain former governor was angry that the person that they cited in Seluku instead of his own place, Agbo. And that is why they said for that region they left it as it was. Governance should be a continuum. The project is not your personal project. It's a government project. So if that factory should be able to take at least 5,000 indigenous, not necessarily of Iseluku alone, but adjoining villages out of the street, shoemakers, and I saw the quality of leather. It is not, I'm telling you, they have brought everything, what leather that we used to do bags, container. They have even got blueprints, but because some people's political ego was not massaged, that hundreds of millions of naira project is still lying idle in Iseluku. And we have representatives in the House of Assembly. We have representatives in the National Assembly. We have governor and nobody. We have a local government chairman. We have councillors that are representing that ward where that and nobody has said anything. It's a continuous failure of leadership. So in summarizing, I'm of the opinion, and I still stand on that. Like Obaka did make mention, we need to question and mental state of people that seek political office. Because when you look at the utterances of some of them, they just wake up. It's not about, because God for that reason has killed our politics. Imposition. Let me tell you, primaries, all those primary elections, they are selected people. Election is a waste of funds. That's why men of integrity cannot come into politics in Nigeria presently, because it has lost the substance. It is selection, imposition. When I look, now, I talked about desilting. I don't know whether it was on this program yesterday or the program I had on TV. I said, prior to the rainy season, we called, the government was saying, everybody should, his business office or his compound and park outside, and the government will come and evacuate. And Dr. Chris, as I speak with you, all the sand, all the silt that has been packed out of the drainages are still in front of where they were packed over 6, 7, 8 months ago.
We should send cameramen there. Send cameramen there. Embarrass them.
Yes,
send cameramen there.
And we have a representative in the National Assembly, in the House of Assembly, representing Oshimili South. We have a local government chairman in Oshimili South. Nothing has been done. I've craved their indulgence. When I call them to talk about it, they just wave it. They want until something becomes a contract that they will inflate and pad, and it will benefit their cronies. They will not. They don't. What do they use the FAC allocation, local government allocation, to do every month? We're talking about state government. Let's look at the local government. What do they do with their allocations? It just comes and they share. They share.
That's it.
Is that what we are? I didn't grow up with that kind of mentality. I grew up in an environment where during our long holidays, we saw the local government then had tippers. Local government then had excavators. Local the payloaders. They are owned by the local government. And during the holidays, the H roads, the Grade C roads, you see them, they drop heaps of sand. We play on some of this sand. We just used to run them. After like 1 week to before we finish our long vacation, you see them. Solar, and I laughed. Why do I laugh? You see, you referenced only that. Do you remember We were not, nobody was using ball in this state.
Exactly.
Water. Everybody was connected to water board.
Exactly. Mary never saw water board. Mary, do you know what is water board? No, we have the generator.
Everybody was connected to water board.
And you get chlorinated.
You get chlorinated treated water.
Water.
Chlorinated water.
And that is the level. When you talked about the light issue, I laughed. The same government. I watched one of these social media critics, very dark man, brought out a video of Tinubu when he was talking about. He said, if we don't get light, and we should hold him accountable, nobody should vote for him in 2027. Then you wake up, that 10 billion naira, you know what its addition will do to the power sector? If we truly want to resuscitate the power sector, do you think they don't know the problem with the power sector? The power sector, the major problem with the power sector is the businessmen, the merchants. They are the people that are creating, people that are supplying transformer, people that are supplying diesel, people that are supplying generators, people that are in the business of the power sector. It's a business to a few people, and then until you break that ice, it will be difficult to substantiate their irrelevance. We can achieve power reliance, 24 hours power supply a day, if we truly want to do it. You grew up to know these things. When we were in Shell, they never took light one day. I never knew when they changed. If they want to take like 30 minutes, they will just do their maintenance, then they will let you know. DSC in Warri, the same thing. That NNPCS state in Warri, the same thing. And that means Nigeria is working. If those companies can achieve that, that means we can, in the bigger society, we can achieve that. So our problem is the type of leaders we have. For a leader to wake up and come and say, people with dreadlocks. And look at what the other leader said. That one traditional ruler, I don't want to mention this thing, that social media is a terrorist organization. What a diversion. What an ignominy in narrative, that social media is a terrorist organization. It's sickening enough. I weep for this country. I weep.
Look at the two people. Look at that one come from our state.
Akpabio's case is an epidemic. His case is incurable. Once is emotionally aroused, he says anything. I am so angry with the kind of quality of leaders we put in sensitive positions of authority.
If Akpabio see Natasha, he go to use him. When Akpabio see Natasha for Senate, he go to shake.
You've seen. Look at Chris. Do you see the itinerary of Akpabio?
No, I've not seen it. Nigerians, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to this. We need to hear that. He need to tell us the itinerary. Akpabio's itinerary. It will be a very, very interesting one. You see, we are really. Are we living in a country? Is this a country or is this a joke? Many of these things we are talking. You know why I don't really refer to you? Because they are alien to you. In those days, you go and drop.
The Senate president is also a tragic narrative.
We wanted to hear from Mashak. Mashak, we lost it. I'm sorry.
The National Assembly under
Asaba, we missed something. Yeah, Chief, we missed something. Mashak was telling us about Akpabio's itinerary. Please give us again. Start from there before we lose it. The audience will want to hear. You know, you said whether do we know Akpabio's itinerary? We said no. Please tell us. Let's take it from there. Your network, we lost that.
You said what?
No, you were telling me.
Yes, I'm looking at the itinerary of the Senate president. You know, you see, we have a mentality of overplaying scenarios. Even the president of the United States do not have the kind of itinerary that our Senate president has. I don't want to go to the president. There was a time the wife of the president came to Asaba. Good Lord, I was standing in front of the secretariat and I was able to count over 50 jeep in the entourage leading out to the airport. I said, is this necessary? Over 50. I'm not talking of the Hiluxes. Look at Akpabio's itinerary. The average Nigerian politician sees himself as a god, number one.
Yeah.
The average Nigerian politician, especially those in position of authority, they believe they own life. They believe money can buy life. They don't believe they will die one day. They don't see themselves as mortal. They see themselves as immortal. Now look at the quality of cars they use. Even the president of the United States
don't have it.
Forget Air Force One. Does not have it. Then we are craving for security architecture to improve the bond. Look at Wike. Wike told people that his position as the FCT minister is bigger than the position of a governor. That his FCT is equally a state. Our politicians are too proud. Yes. How can you have no now? You look at
that one is a joker. If we talk, how many jokers do we have in the country? A country where Wike is important. Mary, a country where someone like Wike is important.
Yes.
Somebody who should be in prison.
No,
Wike is a tout. It should be in the at the garage.
We are talking about
vehicles.
I said somebody that told arrest reporter yesterday when they were
majority of them in the National Assembly
that you are opportune to interview.
Of
the reporter is opportune to interview you. I was like, oh my god.
Interview opportune. Look at it.
That you have the opportunity to interview me does not mean that I'm subject to you.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the
maybe your office there.
Look at it. Let me.
Dr.
Chris, let me.
Not be offended.
I mean, not be offended, though. Because if you offend them, they will unleash.
Have the opportunity to interview him. Wow.
See. So we should.
Yes.
You are
look at the mockery of our judiciary again. Look at the mockery of our judiciary, Dr. Chris.
Yes.
Now, when the present ESCC chairman came on board, he said that he would do everything to make sure that Yaya Bello faces the law. Am I right?
Yeah, so that's what he said. That was
Yaya Bello has been up. That's what he said. He said he even gave us a timeline.
Yes.
Now, the case of Yaya Bello, Yaya Bello was invited to the FCC, didn't come and all that. Then the same Yaya Bello now is coming to raise a case against Natasha Akpotu. That Natasha is suing Natasha for. I think I laugh at this country. I laugh at the system we operate in. You that was so scared, you were called to come out.
You were supposed to be in prison.
A lot of things have been settled here.
Money is power. Power is money.
But this is we are talking with them. This thing is bad, though. What we are talking about, if you guys can imagine how much
put you there, then we don't allow the
how many times is he talking again?
Yeah, South African president stole only $5 million. South African President Zuma only $5 million sent him
he went to prison.
That again is a reflection of how much we have discarded accountability. And a society that is not accountable cannot expect progress. A number of people who are in corridors of power today, because they discarded accountability, are supposed to actually be serving some jail terms. But when you have a legal system
it's
that
not
is
70% of them. 70%
of course, yes. When you have, even when you take them to court, you find out that it's a waste of process. It's a waste of time, because they will eventually be discharged, either on technical grounds or on whatever grounds. And
they don't have to do it best.
Yes, that some of a couple of them who have had justice in some ways, or have had to be held accountable, were held accountable only outside the Nigerian geopolitical space. But the judiciary in Nigeria appears to be wired in such a way that it is too weak to hold the powerful accountable. Yes. But it's only designed for the ordinary man. There are people in our correctional centers today that are behind bars and have been there for 5-6 years because
For doing
somebody
nothing.
said that they stole
Exactly.
a loaf of bread.
Exactly.
Yes, somebody said maybe they were security officers and their bosses traveled and came back and said the space for his air conditioner was his house was boggled and some of these guys have been there for the past 3, 4, 5 years. Nobody has even brought them to court to face justice, but they are there awaiting trial, and the prison is congested. And those who are supposed to have places in that correctional center are walking the corridors of power. In such a situation of a very tragic paradox, then you do not expect to find justice, and the system becomes
There
so
will be no
uninspiring
progress.
that
There will be no progress either.
Yes, some persons, in order to maintain their sanity, they either japa like Dr. Chris, so that they can talk from the safety of London.
Exactly.
You understand?
So that we can open our mouth from
They
here.
are just there to maintain their sanity. They are just there to maintain their sanity. Because if you are here and you see the way some of the things are going, anti-clockwise, then you begin to ask yourself, is this real? Is this a nightmare? When will it all be over?
It looks like joke.
But until we
like
begin to function as ways to see how we can end this trajectory, then
unfortunately, this is not a movie. These are the kind of things we should be seeing on television. But unfortunately, this is real. The stories we're hearing now, they're the kind of stories we see on television. And you know what is so funny? You said, we here the other day, we saw this set of people, Goodluck Jonathan White just said, oh, let them rot in jail. Okowa was accused of 1.3 trillion. 1.3 trillion. The case don't die. No, we'll go on the break. When we come back, may God save us. 1.3 trillion.
Amen.
It's forgotten. But who Goodluck Jonathan White point? They're there for how many years? Let's go on a break. Because the question is this a movie?
Have you heard anything about the story? I pity those poor people, because who is going to help them? They are helpless as it stands.
On the break.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26th, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
A very good welcome to you all. Very, very good welcome, people. This is the Rise and Shine Nigeria. Is Nigeria ever going to rise and shine? But this is what we're here to do. We're looking at how Nigeria can rise and shine. It's possible, my people. I'm happy right here on this platform. Today, they said one of the problems is electricity. And somebody just said, that is the least problem we have. It can be addressed in a day with the right leadership. If Tinubu is now thinking of bringing, because that is an issue I want us to zero on a little bit before we go to the newspaper. Just 3 minutes on that. Is it true that 10 billion naira has been budgeted for solar supply in Asoro? Is that true, or is something we hear on television? There's some of them are social media, some are television, some are real. Where is
But
which
I know
category?
Punch carried it though. It's in Punch News,
Today?
so it's there.
All right. So
Yes.
that's give us a very good start. We go to the newspaper review, and from there we would go and see whether Baba, when he goes that place, sees he come back with bad news or good news for us. Like I said, is this news? Is this news you see on social media? Some are not real. Is it going to be seen on television? Are they in the newspaper? Are they real or they are just guessing? Because how can the president of the country spend 10 billion on what? Solar panel? Which kind of solar panel they supply there? What kind of solar panel is it? What kind of solar panel will cost 10 billion? Well, these guys are jokers, man. Are we joking? Mary, I beg, read that for us. Make we hear.
Okay, the big story on the Punch. You have Inspector Killings. Inspector General of Police deploys special anti-bandit squad nationwide. Bandits strike again. Kill 18.
Wait, wait, first. Is it the killing in Benue or in Plateau? That's why the Inspector General display. Are we in a state of emergency? Did they tell us that every part of the country there's going to be killings? Maybe they have some security reports. Should we be worried? Because why will he do that? Anti-bandit squad nationwide. What are we doing? How much resources? How many of them do we even have that's going to go through the nation? I don't know if this is having the politicians. You guys are jokers, man. Maybe I want to ask again. What all these news, are they real? Or sometimes they sound like joke? Or maybe news you see on social media. Is it Nigerian newspaper saying that the IG just deploys all this number of special anti? They don't tell us how many. Even do they even have it? I mean, this country. I mean,
so we are looking at the traditional media, not the social media. And one of the features of the traditional media is that they have a level of quality control, gatekeepers. Yes. So exactly. These are news items. These are news items that have been filtered. So it's not the imagination of one content creator somewhere. So, and they are not fictional. They are not fictional. They are not fiction.
That's what I'm
news is a report of an event. So when they are telling you of the Aso Rock Solar, is real. And when an aide to the president tries to defend that and tells you that the quality of what they are to have is that of you have in White House.
For me, it sounds like fiction. What is going on in Nigeria is like, it sounds like fiction. The kind of things you see is fairy tales in movies. I remember I tell you guys this story. I had this woman in London there. She was a hurricane. Unfortunately, there was a lady who was working for me at the bank. So she not working for me. She was my banker. She just came there to drop some papers for me. My hurricane was so angry that day that she thought she was my girlfriend. And when that woman started to shout, whoa. You know what the banker did? She just took off. Then later she called me, said, what was that drama in the bar? I said, what was the drama? He said it was the kind of things we see on television. That's exactly what I'm saying now. The drama the kind of things we see on television. When the hurricane, these are all kind of things we see on television. They don't sound too. They sound too. I don't know how to describe it. How can you spend 10 billion? Nigerians, we don't listen to ourselves. 10 billion in these difficult times. When the name is telling us to adjust, to just provide solar in Aso Rock. Not as if they don't have light. They have enough light already.
Look at the image here from Punch.
The two.
High presidency, 10 billion naira for solar power. That's it. And
I'm happy you put the image of the president there. It should be ashamed.
Is a punch. It's punch that
No,
put it.
yes,
So
I'm
it's
happy.
not a social media story. It's like a legit news.
It
You
is.
see,
That's what the bank
so
just educated us on.
people are just saying that this one is just that for us to know that there's no hope for us for light. That they
I
have
mean,
seen that. Yes,
I
now
mean,
if presidential feel like they're trying to install this mini power grid, then what's the hope of the common man? So we should just forget about adequate electricity in this country. It's a clear.
let me tell you one story. During the time of Goodluck Jonathan, I have a guy who was there working with them. And they were about to eat, they took light. The big boys, oh, and the guy was laughing and he was eating. The Goodluck was saying, "This is not funny." He said, "Okay, even if you take light for you, for here, you know, he need to dey eat him food because he don't need to worry. He don't say no light, the light don't ever dey for your house." Exactly what you just said now, baby. If people like president cannot even think of electricity, they going to
Not
solar panel.
that they would have invested for them to be light in this country. They are putting for their own self, mini power grid, imagine. So no one for the common man. We are talking about electricity. What can we do? What can people do? Well, small businesses are suffering because no adequate light. You understand? So if you are paying this kind of amount for if you, the kind of money we pay for electricity that we are not even getting, you can imagine. So tell me, what is the hope
What
of the
that
common man?
what that goes to confirm is that we don't
Definitely.
have government in place that is problem solving. We don't have government in place that is targeted at problem solving or impacting on the populace. The same punch, if you check the top hand right, you see emergency rule. Fubara may shift ground after Tinubu UK meeting. That is to
Uh-huh.
say that in the 18 days that the president was
Yes,
in
in the
in
wilderness.
UK and
It
Europe,
was in the wilderness.
he had a meeting. He had a meeting with Fubara, and that meeting had to do with preparing the ground for 2027 because the president is more interested in securing 2027 ticket
That's all.
and not necessarily in giving power to Nigerians. Talking about light. Yeah, so
Yes.
the reverse is needed, and the obstinate position of Fubara, because of his disagreement with his political godfather, was becoming an issue. And that was why the president had to be responsible enough, as the leader
Yes.
of a responsible government
Possible
in Nigeria,
country. Thank
to
you.
declare that state of
Why
emergency.
the one?
Yes,
Exactly.
to declare that state of emergency.
Responsible.
And now
Yes.
we are being
Yes.
told that after that meeting in London, where Fubara has given a pledge to soften grounds,
Yes.
so that the president can have inroad into River State, then there are indications, strong political indication, that the state of emergency, which resulted in his suspension, may not last up to the stipulated 6 months. It can be, of course, Nigerians are protesting and all that, so the president may as well wake up tomorrow and be the head of a very responsible government and decide to revisit the situation in Rivers, and with
Yes.
an Akpabio kind of led
Exactly.
National Assembly that is more like a
Exactly.
parastatal of the presidency, an extension of the presidency. Then a rubber
Exactly.
stamp kind of methodology. Then the next is that they revisit it and he can now come back, having pledged his loyalty, having pledged a support, of course, and possibly and a possible defection even to the ruling party. You understand? So you find out that at the end of the whole of this thing, what we have is a miasma of a politics that lacks ideology, but people who gang up for control of power because it gives them authority over resources. So we see a situation where people are more interested not in coming up with an ideology that will bring about solution and take the society to its next level, but how do we control power? Power for what? Power is not for service. Power is not for change. There is no renewed hope anywhere. Power in the Nigerian context as of today is for aggrandizement, for wealth accumulation, both for yourself and for your cronies. The solar panel in the presidency could not have taken a question of millions to actualize, but that would be an empowerment for somebody who
Yes.
needed to move from one party or to the other to guarantee.
We are planning. Money has to be
But that is
ready.
desperation towards power
Money
control.
needs to be somewhere. Money needs to be
Desperation.
somewhere. Start.
10 billion
Buy
naira.
everybody.
I'm
You're gonna
sure.
buy some people. You can buy me with that money. You see,
10 billion naira.
yeah,
for
10
what?
billion. 10 billion, Mr. President.
I don't understand. Though.
No, nah.
My issue,
There's
my
God,
issue
though,
is
so good of white talker.
what
There is
could have been
God.
done, what could have been done with that 10 billion? Something could have
Yeah.
been done with that 10 billion that would benefit. Now, for the benefit of those that do not know, the Aso Rock Villa is being powered by the Okpai substation from Delta State here. So I'm trying to still comprehend how
Where the 10
that
billion?
issue of solar came about. Because I remember in one of our media pally last year when Ned was talking about the Okpai power station. How can we be powering Abuja, Aso Rock, and the whole of Abo and Dukwa East as this has not been powered? That was when we got to know that they are powering that place from Okpai.
Can you imagine?
In Ndukwa is there, and now they have come with a look. An average from an average building, you want to put solar, it should not be more than 5 million. Now, 5-6 million, depending on number of panels and batteries, as the case may be. Now, Aso Rock now taking 10 billion. I want to believe in the contrary that they are going to give the whole of Abuja solar lights with that 10 billion, not just Aso Rock.
Exactly.
Because it is
Exactly.
enough.
Exactly.
Mary's house, Mary, the people like Mary now, they are sure of being solarized from the 10 billion naira project.
You see that? You see no one Mary is smiling differently this morning. No, that's why Mary is over smiling.
That's why she's
They told her that they're gonna have solar.
the rub off on them. There is no realistic explanation for 10 billion naira to be done, to be used. Now, we're looking
Like
at
I
our
said, the only thing I can think about is those are the kind of things you see on television. Nigerian drama is the kind of things you see
we have
on television.
We have lights for maybe like in my room. Lights is given to you between 12 and 3 a.m. The rest, and they expect you to pay bills. And if you look at it, it's what pans out almost everywhere in Delta State. Now we're looking at a situation where that 10 billion, we have Egbin power plant, we have the Shiroro power plant. In Kwara State, that's Kwara and Niger State alone. Niger State, we have about 3 power plants there.
Niger, yes.
We have Shiroro, we have Tagwai Dam, 3 dams and all that are used to generate power. And if that money has been plowed into some of these power plants to help give majority of Nigerians light, to restore desolate hardware of the transmission network, and of course, more people will have life than Aso Rock. Like you did reference, Mary. Are they telling us that they have not been?
All right, people, we're having fun today. We're having fun because at least when you are entertained, what you do, Mary?
What
you
about the media reporter use 10 billion to the monies? And of course, talking about
That's
one thing I have noticed. What
Okay.
you said?
We didn't get
Okay,
that
I
part.
said, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I said you will not be out of place to have said that 10 billion was given to somebody that has promised to jump to politically prostitute or to show allegiance or to
I think Ubaka said that. So Ubaka said calculations.
Because let me tell you something. Why do I agree with that information? In my state here, there are some positions that are given. More than 5 people will have one position. You will see an SSA on that position, an executive assistant on that position, an SA on that position. Then they will give 3 different senatorial districts. That's
Wasting of
6 people, and it's a supervising ministry.
Special advisor on
Project that position. It's a duplicity of responsibility, and it is the taxpayers' money that is being affected, and we have youths that don't have job. I've not heard how many times since the coming of this, how many states have you seen have agreed to employ civil servants? Because now politics have turned into a career.
Yeah.
So people are governors are not even caring to talk about employment of civil servants or public servants, employment of workers.
Okay.
What they do basically is now they give employment SSA, the lowest position as an SA presently with the new minimum wage earning about 450,000. Somebody went on go school, somebody went use primary 6. All he needed to do was to be able to carry ballot box or to fight or to do what. To do gra. They don't give an SA. The people that went to school, you place them on a salary of 100 and something thousand on level 8.
Engineers, so that we'll be able to look at the provision, what the reports in the other papers. If we look at Vanguard, we see that Rivers is still in the news. Protest in Rivers, that is the front page photograph. We see women, essentially women, they are wearing black and they are protesting in Rivers. Why the governor, the suspended governor, is holding a meeting with the president in UK. The women are protesting in Rivers. Protesters urge Tinubu to reinstate Fubara. Protesters urge Tinubu to reinstate Fubara. So that is part of the script. And from all indication, before the 6 months is over, there are indications that the president will reinstate Fubara. Then we also have world leaders expected as Vatican fixes Saturday for Pope Francis funeral. Funeral.
Whoa.
Yeah. Then yes. Then that still in Vanguard, just underneath that. Don't take out your frustration on us. Senate replies Bakari. Don't take out your Bakari. We all know who Bakari is, and he had called them rubber stamp Senate, an extension, a parastatal under the executive, and that cannot provide check and balances. And now they are replying him. Don't take out your frustration on us. Senate replies Bakari.
Who is frustrated?
That Bakari,
yeah, the one that is frustrated with Natasha. Who is frustrated? Natasha is frustrated. Who is frustrated?
Akpabio Senate. Akpabio Senate is saying that Bakari is frustrated. So that is that with but the major story, the lead story in Vanguard says worsening insecurity. Niger state governor, that is Niger government rather, imposes curfew in fresh Benue attack. That is on page 5.
Again,
we have riders and
yes. Again, sorry, Chief Ubaka. The question I ask is this normal? The kind of news you hear in Nigeria, sometimes you think this is Nollywood. Nollywood would even be writing this kind of horrible script.
Nigeria is Nollywood.
But Nigeria is Nollywood. The whole Nigeria is Nollywood. And somebody said theater of the absurd.
Yes.
It's an absurd theater.
It's the theater of the absurd.
Yes,
that's the right word.
We are all playing one role or the other. But only God knows.
When we say people are dying in the country, we are not talking of a war zone. There's no war in Nigeria. But this killing is happening. Security operative is a country with law and order. This is happening.
Yeah.
It's no joke, man.
But the National Security Advisor, that is the person of Ribadu. Ribadu says evil will be defeated. Says Tinubu met a bad situation. Tinubu met, that is Ribadu. Tinubu met a bad situation on ground.
Let me tell you this. I want to
Wow.
reference this thing. When I listened to you talk yesterday, I was so angry in my spirit. Tinubu met a bad situation. Was the situation created by another government? Is it not the same APC? Who created it? Was Tinubu not part of the APC government under Buhari? Tinubu met a bad situation from the last government. Was Nuhu Ribadu, were you not part of the last government too? Are all of you not APC? Who is fooling who in this country?
He screamed, he said, this is a carnage. We are helpless. This is a carnage. We are helpless. That is Governor Allah. Governor Allah. That's the Benue governor. Yeah, the Catholic priest that stopped Peter Obi from coming to help them. He said, this is a carnage. We are helpless. So the chief secretary
officer of the state Pope died, may go Rome. That guy not supposed to be governor. May go be Pope. May go Rome. He need to go to Rome. You see, sometimes these guys are jokers.
Should be part of those two.
You know,
yes.
I said Nigerian theater. The Nigerian theater is so good entertaining, but this time
It's more than good.
in a strange way. You know, for first, where in the world we say
in a strange way,
and it's now they said it's doing well. Sometimes, you know what is annoying me? When we now rate these governors, what are the barometers we use in rating our governors? Performance of leaders in Nigeria. What are the barometers? These are my worries. And when I talk, they say, oh, they are doing well. And they say, I hear you, sir. On what basis? What makes him a good governor? I'm sorry. What makes him a good president? Maybe I'm too stupid. Explain to me. Oh, Senate president. Look at that one. In fact, Akpabio knew that he's a shame, and he will continue to be a shame. So it's not new to him. He's just living his music. But my concern is how do you say this man is performing? What are the things you people judge in Nigeria? I need to understand it, because for me, I'm confused here. I'm lost. For a governor, for instance, that's where this matters come from. That cannot talk about security in its own land. In his own, he's telling people, oh, we're not secure. Now he's crying. There's no excuse. Do you collect security vote this month, sir? What did you do with it? A state like Benue must have gotten. You see, that's why I bring Obasanjo. Just say that an old man. Obasanjo could just ask one question now. The last money when they give you for security vote, what do you take and do? With the killing now in Benue, do you even need you need a rocket scientist to come and solve it? The community, you can empower the community to defend themselves now. With your last security vote, Mr. Priest, tell us what you did, what you use it for. You see, sometimes they make mockery of us in Nigeria. We don't ask questions. But when they tell us there's no security in Delta State, it's handicapped. What happened to the 2.something billion monthly? We need to, you see, until we address this, there will be no security in the country. We're not even interested.
But I think there is a point here where Delta is agreeing with London concerning Akpabio and being ashamed. Your view is that that man should be ashamed. But Delta believes that the likes of Akpabio have sold shame in the market. Nothing can make him ashamed. You know,
with
and nothing again can make him ashamed. You know, with what he has gone through with Natashi. You know, some persons would have felt that by now. But if a man is no longer capable of being ashamed, then something is wrong. It means that fellow can do just anything.
Then we say it's
just
over.
Anything, because
and there are two of them.
No longer, it's
there are
over.
Two of them.
Because
there are two of them.
Yes,
there are two people like that in the country.
It's just over.
Akpabio
he has
crossed no
over.
You know the other one? We can have no shame. These are the two closest people to President Tinubu.
No, but
are we not in trouble? Let's play the drama. If you have the man in command and you have Akpabio and Wike and you have Tinubu.
That's the executive, legislature, and the judiciary.
Look at the people. The two of them have no shame. I don't know whether Baba even get shame. Baba is a responsible government. A responsible government with two shameless people. A responsible government, because Baba is responsible. As responsible as he is, he couldn't even give us electricity. He was able to look at how responsible
his two major allies are shameless.
For a responsible government with
So
two
we take a
major
look,
allies, like Tinubu, like Akpabio and this, may God help Nigeria.
and Wike.
Let us hope that Nigeria,
country.
because know what I want to suggest. Let's suggest that Jesus Christ died. Nigeria did not wake up with Jesus. Now we're going to bury Pope, and Pope going to rise again. Maybe then Nigeria will rise. Should we be waiting for that? Because Pope don't die, we won't go bury Pope this weekend. Maybe should be waiting for that. I don't know. This drama is too much. I can't tell my children what is going on. If your child put you down and ask you a question, will you be able to defend the question? What are you going to say? If a small child will ask you what is going on, what will you be telling the child? No, really, this is not a joke. If a small child now say, Daddy, how is this and this happen? What would you be saying? The drama
is a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. It is more than a nightmare, and it is scary. It's disturbing. Nigerians will need to get out of this. Let's follow back.
So Guardian has the lead story this morning. Nigeria walks a tightrope as IMF sees higher inflation, lower oil prices. Nigeria walks tightrope.
Oh, that's why you like. That's why I like Guardian. Yeah, they are the only serious newspaper.
Yeah, Nigeria walks a tightrope as IMF sees higher inflation coming. So if you think the worst has come, higher inflation is on the way. Then lower oil prices. So that's
the naira will be dead.
Smiling at all.
The naira will be dead. We're going to be 3,000 naira
for Nigeria.
Nigeria it will be 3,000 naira to the pounds. Hey, we'll be seeing 3,000 naira to the pounds if that happens. And of course, the president, the responsible president you have, has done so well to bring in electricity to Aso Rock with 10 billion. Our Senate president can ask for one wife, very novice, with 500 million. That's a lot of money. Only Nigeria. That's why you say people they go for Lamborghini.
You said like asking for more wife.
Huh?
You said like asking for more wife.
No, if they pay 500 million now, Natasha say the Baba give him 500 million for just only one pile. 500 million. This is
they are wasting Nigeria money.
That's serious matter, very serious matter. This is serious. 500 million.
Still in Vanguard, Plateau NBA advocates self-defense against attacks. Plateau NBA advocates self-defense against attack. This appears to be in line with what some retired major generals are saying. If the Nigerian military cannot defend you, you rise up in defense of yourself. So the
primary duty of a citizen,
self-defense.
The number one right, yes, the number one right, if you study law,
yes,
the number one right of a human being, of a citizen, is self-defense. No matter the offense you commit, if you can prove self-defense, you're free. Because it is allowed. And that's why I'm saying you have 10 billion or some billion coming to you every month. Tinubu is able to spend 10 billion in Aso Rock, but people are dying. Are you saying if you empower these people, they will not be able to defend themselves? Herdsmen will disappear. I don't know why they will keep saying herdsmen. Are you sure it's only herdsmen doing this?
Yes, no.
May God help us. Are the herdsmen doing it? And we know the herdsmen. And yet this man now, this fine boy, he said that one carry good beers. He said I'm going to get dreadlock. Now when they kidnap for where? For Niger State. The guy could not even think of farming. The landscape of let's try and close the show on him. We started with him. We're going to end with you, sir. The landscape of Niger State, Niger State is bigger than the whole of the southeast. Put Anambra, Imo, all of them, put them together. Only Niger State is bigger than those states. Only Niger. In terms of land, these
Very
people
big.
cannot even farm. This lazy cow cannot farm. And he's talking about people who have dreadlocks. Can you imagine? You're insulting people that have dreadlocks. What about people that have these long beards? If you go to America, in those days they were stereotyping that people with these beards, they are Osama bin Laden. You have one, sir. You know, there are things we have. There are things we have to do. There are things we don't have to do. It's not right to begin to use bad words on one another, but sometimes these governors they deserve it.
Yeah. Guardian also has that. Of course, we understand that it's 2 years away from a major election in Nigeria. The internal issues of PDP are not appearing to be anyway settled. Guardian has here PDP sacks Bayelsa, Edo executives, appoint interim officials. They are sacking Bayelsa and Edo executive, appointing interim officials. And some persons say these interim officials are actually surrogates of a wiki.
Yes.
So that makes the future of the party a lot more embattled. Then same Guardian has armed headers kill 11 in fresh Benue attack as Rebadu defends FG's security efforts.
Very disappointed with Ribadu when I listened.
Ribadu of all people. Ribadu of all people.
Yes, you see, he spoke with two sides of his mouth. I mean, contradicting himself, saying that the government has been trying. And when you say government has been trying, I mean, there should be evidence made available to us.
That's why I asked, what are the barometers?
So that
Yeah.
what are the the barometers for evaluation? The government
Yes.
have been trying that, and I asked the question. I don't know if it was on our program yesterday. Is it that now these guys are not ghosts? They have most times when they operate, they come on bikes. That means they refuel their bikes. They have to buy fuel.
Yes.
These guys are not ghosts. They are humans. That means they need habitation. They need to eat food. They are biological beings. They must metabolize. That means people cook for them. And if you don't tell me that the Nigerian police do not have an air wing, that immediately after this, even if they don't come in the current time of the massacre, they should be able to trace them. In the night when they come to commit most of this crime, they must eliminate the roads to move. I've watched one of my best channels on DSTV is Investigation Discovery, and I see the way investigations are carried out, and I see the way security agencies react to crime scene and to crime situations, very prompt and fast. And the first responders are, you see, almost all the forces come up, they meet almost the same time as first responders to a crime scene. But yeah, it takes you the whole day, the whole week. That the Nigerian Air Force cannot have night illumination.
They don't have fuel in their car. The Nigerian police doesn't have fuel. Very know them. Very go to them. They don't have fuel.
Don't they have drones that could cover about 100-kilometer radius or a 50-kilometer radius or a 30-kilometer radius? Drones that you could. I mean, why are we doing ourselves this? Is it everything we politicize in this country? Is this everything that we have reduced the lives and livelihood of Nigerians to a level like they look like chickens, no relevance? I saw two contrasting photographs this morning before coming here. One was the entire members of the Ministry of Interior with repentant Boko Harams, so-called repentant Boko Haram. Members of the executive were snapping with them, getting excited. Another of the photos, it was dead bodies from Bassa in Plateau State, and not one official of government has been there. It will shock you. I just looked through my phone now, and I saw a certain social custodian, a very dark man. He has already gone. He's the person that is bringing first-hand the destruction in Bassa to the Nigerian people. I was watching it now. Not one government official. The Ribadu get to Bassa. You went to Jos. It's Jos Bassa. You should go to this crime scene Let the people feel feel the touch of governance and government. Let the people feel very important, though they have losses. Children have been turned to orphans. Look at the level of damage, of destruction carried out. Not one government official has been there. Nigeria is a collection of it's a comedy. It's a
It
comedy.
is.
It's a
It
tragic
is.
comedy, because what we are seeing today, no respect for the life of the common man. Politicians have turned Nigerians into pawns on the chessboard of their political machinations.
Yeah, so looking forward to the emergence of the next pope after the funeral of talking about the activities in the conclave. 18 Africans among cardinals to elect a new pope. 18 Africans among cardinals to elect new pope. The majority of them are from Europe, then Asia, then Africa. Looking forward to the emergence of a new pope. That is in.
Are we going to have a black pope this time? On Punch? Is that on Punch?
No, it's in Punch.
Okay, yes, I can see that. And then the Pope is Liar's Take already. And
yeah, 18 Africans among cardinals to elect. A black man could be a pope, but certainly not the Tinubu kind of a Nigerian.
Well, ladies, that's where let's see whether we can call it a wrap. We're going to do things a little bit more civilized this time. We don't need to get to 2 hours all the time. Let's stop it today here. Tomorrow, I want us to look at. Now, today we talk about governors, and sometimes the local government, we talked about them. They say, yeah, the governors are actually dealing with them, not letting the money get to their location. Let us look at why our money does not get to our local government. And number two, of what use? Let me repeat. How useful are our local government? Do we even need a local government? Can you see the impact of a local government in your community? That's the question for tomorrow. This is no joke. What do local government stand to? Since you've been around, since you were born, many times, in my time, I know what local government needs. We used to have water. In fact, everything, local government were there. Dispensaries, little things, local government will be there. Do you have local government today? Maybe Lagos can say one or two things. They still come to take out the bill. Otherwise, other states, Delta State, please go do your research tomorrow. Come and tell us what your local governments are doing. Because we need this. We need to put them on the list. And
No
maybe
problem.
when we
That's
talk to
very,
them like this.
very important one.
Yes. Let's go and prepare for tomorrow and see the impact of our local government in your community. Anywhere you are today, Nigerians, if you can just take a picture of what you think your local government has done, if you send it to us, we'll either praise him or tell him to go to hell tomorrow. Because we're going to do that here. We want to be putting one of them. And for those of you, I'm coming up, and I'm going to beg, if I have my way, I will be showing you some of the videos or some of the pictures Engineer Marshall mentioned today. If you have a community where you have all these facilities abandoned, you are now in the House of Assembly or even the council, and you're not talking about this. It's not your business. Your own is where they share. Some of them have not even said a word since they got to that house. Quality of leadership. We're going to come back. Quality of leaders is a problem in Nigeria. And like we've all been saying, where are they coming from in the first place? We know them. If you look at their records, if you look at where they're coming from, you know why they were there. You cannot get quality men like on those days when we have them at Buzali, and you're going to come out and you're going to get a result. And all this multi-million cross carpeting we're saying now, today you are in APC, tomorrow you are PDP. The number one person that have been in all political parties in this world, Atiku. Is Atiku going to contest under PDP this time? Then there's no competitor. If there's a strong force to deal with Atiku, he will change party now. So maybe that's why they have SDP and this one. Atiku will be one of them. Anywhere there is something, he must contest. What is he interested in? Is he interested in us or himself? Have they ever tell you something that they're going to do about us or what they're going to do about it for themselves? Don't leave it as security. In fact, sometimes it's a mockery. The Nigerian drama is still unfolding. What is your take on it? Is this a movie or the kind of things we see on television? Thank you very much, guys. And we're going to say, let us call it a wrap today, if you guys let me, so that by tomorrow, we will beam our searchlight on the actions, the do's and the don'ts, the failures and the accomplishment of local governments in Nigeria. Do we even need them? That was my question. I'll put the question and I'll trust my man here. We'll put the bullet on it. So don't go away tomorrow. They are ready. And be ready too. Thank you very much, Engineer Mashak, and the Almighty Chief Ubaka. Okay, Mary, take it easy. When we can have peace, let there be peace. And when there's peace, we're all going to be happy. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025. Nigeria Week London 2025. Celebrating the best of Nigeria. It's part
SRTV. Innovative content. Global audience.